Okay. So 2/6 is multiplying fractions. The first example is pretty straightforward, just to refresh your memory. When we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across top and bottom. So you multiply the top, 1 times 1 is 1, multiply the bottom, 2 times 3 is 6, and your answer is 1/6. Really basic. Multiplying is pretty easy. Most people don't have problems multiplying. They have problems simplifying, but in this case we don't need to simplify. Raise your hand if you remember this. Remember now? Okay, good. The second example is one where, yeah, we would have to do some simplifying. So we have 2 times a negative 3/4. It doesn't really matter where you put the negative. But you would just multiply straight across. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. There's an imaginary 1 on the bottom of 2. So that's just 4. Then divide by 2 to get negative 3 over 2. But we're not finished. We need to make it a mixed fraction. So that's negative 1 and a half. Questions?
Can't you cross cancel?
You can, but we didn't get there yet. We'll see on the next one. Okay, so we have negative 1 and a half. Questions on that? Okay, Lindsay brought up a question about cross-canceling, and yes, you could cross-cancel if you know what I'm talking about. If not, we'll just do one like that. Example 3. We have 2/7 times negative 3/8. 2/7 times a negative 3/8. And so for this one, you would just do 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 7 times 8 is 56. Divide by 2. Or you could do what Lindsay said. Get rid of the bigger numbers. Try to cross cancel. Okay? So is there a shortcut? Yes. It's cross canceling. Okay, so let me show you real quick what that looks like. If you see numbers that have common divisors, like 2 and 8, right? Does everybody know that 2 goes into 8?
Yes.
So you could cross off the 2 and put a 1, cross off the 8 and put a 4. Does 7 and 3 have a common divisor? No. So leave those alone. So now we have 1 times negative 3, which is negative 3, and we have 7 times 4, which is 28. So it's basically like simplifying before you have to simplify. Do you guys remember cross-canceling? Yeah, raise your hand if you remember cross-canceling. Any questions so far? You like cross-canceling better? Yeah. Okay, so that would be the shortcut. Let's look at another one that we could cross-cancel. Actually, you try this one first. I want you to do a few of these, and then we'll look at more cross-canceling. So do this one on your own. 3/5 times 1/2. Raise your hand when you have it. Okay, Blake, what'd you get?
I got 3/10.
Good. Raise your hand if you got 3/10. Awesome. That was easy, right? Let's try this one. 2/3 times negative 4. Again, just raise your hand when you have it. Make sure to simplify.
Does the same rule apply when you're multiplying negative numbers?
Same rules apply. The integer rules. Okay, Taylor, what do you think?
I got 2 1/4.
So first you got negative 8 over 3, right?
Yeah.
And then you said, okay, 3 goes into 8 2 times.
Yes.
2 times. And then what's left over?
The
The 2
2
over 3. And don't forget to put negative. Raise your hand if you got that right. Good. Okay, try this one. Same rules apply. So we have negative 1/3 times negative 3/7. Just raise your hand when you have it. You can cross cancel if you want. Okay, Israel, what'd you get?
I got a negative. I got a negative 1/7.
You're close. It's a positive.
Wait, 1/7. Sorry.
Yeah, because a negative times a negative is a positive. Remember that from our integer rules? And so if you cross canceled, you could just cross these two 3's out, couldn't you?
Yes, I did.
And then you have your answer. Who got 1/7? Awesome. Okay, mixed fractions are a little different. So here's an example for you, okay? So when you're multiplying mixed fractions, it's a lot easier if you go ahead and you turn your mixed into an improper. So we have 1/2 times 4 2/5. So let's change this into an improper fraction. Do you remember how to do that? You've been doing some of it, but you multiply, then you add, right? You guys remember that? Okay. So if we multiply 5 times 4, that's 20, and add 2, that's 22 over 5. Okay, so we have a 22 over 5. So 1/2 times 22 over 5. Cross-canceling makes it a little easier here, doesn't it? So 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 22 11 times. So now I have 1 times 11, 1 times 5, 11 over 5. And then we get 2 and 1/5. Some of you don't need to do that work because you can figure out half of 4 and 2/5. Some of you need to do the work to see that. But does anybody see how half of 4 is 2 and half of 2/5 is 1/5? Do you guys see that? Okay. As you get better at fractions, you'll see those. You don't have to do all the work. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Let's try another one. Both negatives this time. So we have two mixed fractions, both negative. We already know negative times a negative is a positive, right? Remember that? So that's pretty easy. So let's first change these to improper. So what do you guys think for negative 1 and 7/8?
15 over 8.
Who says 15 over 8? Who says they're confused because of the negative thing? Because some people get confused. They go like, oh, wait, that's negative 8 plus 7, and then they try to put negative 1. Does that confuse anybody? Okay, because that comes up year after year. People are like, well, wait a minute. How do I know, which one to add and stuff like that? That does happen, okay? So for sure, we just write 15 over 8, that was right. And then this one is 12 over 5, right? Okay? But because they're negative, don't forget to put the negatives. So should I cross cancel, you think? You think so? Okay. So what could we cross out here? That one, right? Would become a 1. That one would become a 3. What goes into 8 and 12? 4. So 4 goes in there twice. 4 goes in there 3 times. That's a lot better, isn't it? Okay, so I cross-canceled. You don't have to rewrite it. I just wrote it there twice. And we have 9 over 2, because now we have negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. 2 times 1 is 2. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. Questions on that one? Okay, so I want you guys just to try this one here then. See if you can get this one. 1/4 times 8 and 4/9. Just raise your hand when you think you have it. This is one of those ones where you could use mental math if you understand a fourth of 8 and a fourth of 4/9. Kind of like the one we just did with the half. It would be super awesome if you guys could start seeing these little shortcuts. It would save you a lot of time on your homework and tests and things like that too. Okay, so someone that saw the shortcut or used mental math, anybody that did that? You three did that? Oh, Joey put his hand down now. Kaylin, what did you see there?
I saw that a fourth of 8 is 2,
Uh-huh, fourth of 8 is 2.
and a fourth of 4/9 is 1/9.
Good, and that's the answer. Isn't that easier? Who got 2 and 1/9 but did it the long way? Okay, and that's okay. So you could have done 9 times 8 plus 4 and then cross multiply or cross cancel and get there, but a fourth of 8 is 2. A fourth of 4/9, you just basically divide 4 into 4 and get 1/9. Yes?
What would you do for like different ones? Like say if it was 4/7 or something.
Then it'd still be 1/7.
So you just
It'd still work. Yeah.
Even 1 and 1/9.
1 and 1/9, you just divided wrong. It goes in 2 times. Just to recall, so that was mental math. Look back up here at example 1. Let's look at it. Half of 4 is 2. Half of 2 is 1. Same kind of problem, right? You'll start to see them. Before you do any work, you should look and say, oh, is this a half or a quarter? I could do that. Okay. Most of the time in the book, they're giving you stuff like that, just that you don't always catch it right away, right? Okay, let's go to the next one. Hey, that was it. Awesome. The next ones are in the book, I guess. So in the book on page 315, so go to 315. We're going to do 1 through 10. There's only one word problem there. It was nice to you because we're going to do lots of word problems on next Monday, so thought I'd be nice. So 315, 1 through 10. If you don't have a book, write these on binder paper, please. I'll give you guys at least 15 minutes. Look for shortcuts.